I know what you might be thinking. Pearl, why are you going after Alyssa and Matt? Alyssa and Matt are conservatives, Christians. They've been married for quite some time. Why is this such an issue to you? You know, I mean, again, it's going back to the fraud. I don't like it when people pretend to be conservative, but they're doing the same thing. I think it's fraudulent. And if you're going to push marriage, you're going to say get married. I need you to be sure that's a good decision. Yeah, someone has a nanny. Now, again, I wouldn't care if they didn't publicize their relationship as the way that we should live. But you don't get to be on the internet, use your relationship for clout, and then have nobody comment. I don't really see having an X account to make fun of your husband as a good look. You might be saying it's just a joke until you see that she made fun of her husband for attending the inauguration with a zipper on his pants open. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, here it is. Now, again, you might say this is fine. I don't care. But here we got Alyssa tweeting. And this is another thing. The men don't love this if you're tweeting the private conversations. They're really not a fan. They showed you coming in. I just got my phone. Now I have to do the backstage. She said, still, you were on screen a lot and your fly was down. I would have believed you if they didn't already show me the screenshots. Now, I want to preface by saying, I want to show a contrast, okay? I'm supposed to put this in later, but Melania Trump is such a perfect example. And I want to show Melania Trump would never do this to Donald Trump. And I want to show you the contrast of you got the one wife trolling on Twitter and the wife over here, our precious and beautiful Melania. They try to get her to say something bad about Donald.
Unbelievable mother. I'll be a good father, but I'll be,
how do you know
doing my deals.
You know it.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
She'll be an amazing mother. I have no doubt about that. She'll be an amazing mother.
Have you been back to Slovenia?
I've been in Slovenia 2 years ago.
Did you go?
Yes, I was there about 13 minutes. No, it's a beautiful country. I landed, said, hi, Mom, hi, Dad, bye. Boom.
Let's show the ring. Can we get a close-up of the ring? And Donald will tell us, as Don Rickles would say, this ring signals ships. Did you pick it?
Well, I picked it, and it's from Graff Jewelers, who are terrific.
Oprah's jeweler.
That's true. And I love Oprah. She is terrific. And they're just,
Now, what is going to happen, sorry, I started a little early, but what's going to happen is the interviewer is trying to get Melania to say something negative about Donald.
Did you pick it, or did you go with him?
So he's trying to say that, is he controlling?
The Trumps, Donald and Melania, okay. Is he a control freak?
I don't think he's a control freak. He's perfectionist.
Look it. Do you see that beautiful reframe? That was such a good girl game. Women, we got to take notes on this, okay? He said, do you think he's a control freak? No, he's a perfectionist. Guys, isn't that beautiful?
No, that's a slight difference. Does he make demands?
I don't think so. Maybe he makes demands in his business because he needs to. He's kind of a general. He needs to,
Look it. He said, is he demanding? No, he's a general. Wouldn't that be great, guys? You go home and your wife treats you, she says, you're a general.
Have people in line, but not at home. We are very equal in the relationship, and that's very important. To marry a man like Donald is, you need to know who you are, and you need to be very strong and smart, and, he needs to know that he could rely on me sometimes, and we share a lot of stuff together. I don't think he's a control freak at all.
Does he bring work home?
Yes, sometimes. But he's working all the time. Saturday, Sundays, he's playing golf. He's working all the time.
Doesn't it bother you?
No.
Do you see how quick she is? How many women would do a backhanded compliment? I would say, does it bother you? Well, no. She says, no, it doesn't. Try to get me to talk bad about my man, bitch. That's what she said. I'm just kidding.
It's his passion. He loves it. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to change him. I don't want...
That's beautiful. I don't want to change him.
To say, come home and, be with me. I don't want to change him. I want to give him a space. And I think that's very important in the relationship.
Because you used to tell me the one thing that Trump...
Do you think Trump, one in the chat, do you think Trump would accept his wife trolling him on Twitter? Trump's been married 3 times and has a more traditional relationship than any of these conservatives.
troubled you about marriage was the feeling that you have to give up some of yourself, that you can't be the workaholic you are because of the demands of the nature of a relationship.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a workaholic. I mean, I work, but it's not work. It's like you. I mean, I love what I do, so it's no longer work. It's not like work. I mean, work to me is going on a 2-week vacation. If somebody said you have to go away for 2 weeks, you're going to Africa on a safari, there's not going to be any phones, you know what? You get me out of here, right? So that's to me.
Pearl, she could have simply responded by saying it was tongue-in-cheek. They made it the drama, not you. Thank you. Such an overreaction, my God.
Like, that would be work. But what Melania is so good at, we just have this natural relationship. It's like my mother and father. They were married 63 years. I've always heard you have to work at a good relationship. My father didn't work at a good relationship. He went home, he had dinner, he went to bed, he took it easy, he watched television. My mother, the same thing. She cooked them dinner. And it was just one of those things. It wasn't work. But I always heard you have to work at a
You're not working at this.
No, because, look, I work very hard from early in the morning till late in the evening. I don't want to go home and have to work at a relationship. I mean, that's it. A relationship we have to work at it, in my opinion, doesn't work. So maybe I'm wrong.
Do you cook?
I cook sometimes when we stay home and something very fast, and but we are out most of the time, so I don't really have time to cook.
What is it like to have everything economically? By that I mean, you go down Fifth Avenue, you look in the window, like something, you can buy it. What's it like?
Well,
you don't have any financial pressure.
Yes, but you don't, I grew up, you always, taking care of the money. You're not like a, big spender, and you're saying like,
Okay, so we get the idea. Does that make sense, guys? What the difference? Okay, so let me go through a couple other examples of disrespect publicly. So the next example we got is Barack Obama. Now, Barack Obama, I really wasn't a fan of him, but he did work hard enough to become the most powerful man in the country, aka the president of the United States. All that hard work and sacrifice to become the president, and he's putting up with a disrespectful wife. At the inauguration of President Trump, Barack Obama showed up all by himself and was the only one whose wife didn't attend. Hillary Clinton attended. I think at this point, nobody really faults Bill for cheating. They're like, yeah, she's miserable. Yeah, I would have did the same, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 44th President of the United States, the Honorable Barack H. Obama.
There you go. There you go. Now, many people will say, well, Michelle hates Trump. But even if that's the case, she couldn't have gone to support her husband. It's a shame that Barack is the only president to show up without his wife. The Audacity Network. The link is in the description, and the disrespect is real. Next, we have J.D. Vance's wife. This is another man that comes from nothing and worked his way to the Senate and then the office of the Vice President of the U.S. at the Republican National Convention. Do you think the wife gave a speech that recognized his hard work and painted him as a masculine man? Of course not.
Gentlemen, please welcome Usha Vance.
To introduce my husband. Good evening. When I was asked to introduce my husband, J.D. Vance, to all of you, I was at a loss. What could I say that hasn't already been said before? After all, the man was already the subject of a Ron Howard movie. J.D. has shared much of his life through his own eloquent words. In his book, Hillbilly Elegy, during his Senate campaign, and now as a sitting United States Senator, it occurred to me that there was only one thing to do: to explain from the heart why I love and admire J.D. and stand here beside him today, and why he will make a great Vice President of the United States. I met J.D. in law school when he was fresh out of Ohio State, which he attended with the support of the GI Bill. We were friends first because, who wouldn't?
Okay, so now the first thing she's going to say is I friend zoned him. Bitch, no guy wants to be the guy that got out of the friend zone. He wants to be the guy that you let raw dog on the first date and said no to everyone else. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be the guy that you said no to every other person. Everyone else, you said no, 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 no. At least the men lie. You know what I mean? The men will say, I knew you were special when they DM'd 100 other women that day. Or, you were just the only one that said yes. Why can't we lie a little bit back? My God.
Wouldn't want to be
So she's starting with, I friend zoned him.
friends with JD.
They're trying to be funny. Why do I have to find your wives funny? Why? You guys are like, I feel like the conservative men have a gun to my face and they say, find my wives funny. And I say, I don't find them funny. And they're like, no, they're hilarious. And I'm like, I don't find them funny in the slightest.
He
wants to be the guy who railed you in an alley after buying you a $1.50 McGriddle. Thank you, Shiv.
As now, the most interesting person I knew, a working class guy who had overcome childhood traumas that I could barely fathom to end up at Yale Law School. A tough Marine who had served in Iraq, but whose idea of a good time was playing with puppies and watching the movie Babe.
Did his enemies need to know? Remember, this guy is going to be in a military position. Does it make him look good to say that he likes to watch the movie Babe?
The most determined person I knew with one overriding ambition: to become a husband and a father, and to build the kind of tight-knit family that he had longed for as a child. My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community.
Now, what does she do? Make it about her. JD Vance has one of the coolest life stories ever. She's got 5 minutes to pitch this, and all she had to do was just make it about him. Tell his hero's journey, right? How awesome he is. Brave, strong. Sorry, I get the hiccups. So good.
With 2 loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister. That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country. It is also a testament to JD, and it tells you something about who he is. When JD met me, he approached our differences with curiosity and enthusiasm.
Okay, again, did I meet him or did he meet me? It's subtle, but it tells you everything I need to know, okay? If your girl met a celebrity, if Brad Pitt was in town and she met Brad Pitt at a coffee shop, she wouldn't say Brad Pitt met me. She would say, I met Brad Pitt. Oh my God, I met him today. What does it mean when they say they met me? It means I'm the more important one.
Enthusiasm. He wanted to know everything about me, where I came from, what my life had been like. Although he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, he adapted to my vegetarian diet and learned to cook food from my mother, Indian food.
Look, so men do like doing nice things for us, right? But it takes it away a little bit when you use it to show how awesome you are to your friends. So if your guy buys you something and you're taking a picture and posting it on Facebook to brag to everyone, now it's just like a cloud off, like a how cool can I look? Oh, he did so much for me, you know. You guys think these TradCon women, do you know what? I grew up around you hoes. Sorry, she's probably not a hoe, but I grew up around it. I know the subtle, I know it. I know all of this, okay? Again, she had the chance to talk about him. What is she making about her?
Before I knew it, he had become an integral part of my family, a person I could not imagine living without. The JD I knew then is the same JD you see today, except for that beard. And
she had to do a backhand, okay.
And his goals in this new role are the same that he has pursued for our family: to keep people safe, to create opportunities, to build a better life, and to solve problems with an open mind. It's safe to say that neither JD nor I expected to find ourselves in this position. But it's hard to imagine a more powerful example of the American dream: a boy from Middletown, Ohio, raised by his grandmother through tough times, chosen to help lead our country through some of its greatest challenges. I am grateful to all of you for the trust you have placed in him and in our family.
Yeah. Now, she's not going around, she didn't make a Twitter account to troll her husband. She's not one of the worst. But, you know, as Doug MPA saying in the chat, this was her opportunity to say that he's a good man, a good leader, and he answered the call to serve his country. But she just couldn't do it. She had to make it about her. And now, last but not least, we have Alex Baldwin's wife. This was brutal.
It's the right time.
This is what, and you know, a lot of people on Twitter were saying, this is normal, Pearl. Normal relationships, they make fun of each other. Okay, well, sexless marriages are normal. Fat wives are normal. Stopping weaponizing sex to get things that you want is normal. Belittling your husband, henpecking him, that's normal. Does that mean we should celebrate it? Does that mean it's a good thing? Okay, I gotta.
The Ilaria show.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, go to the beginning.
I think we're gonna.
There we go, okay.
More of this. Season 2?
The Ilaria show.
I think we're gonna see, we're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No.
That's divorce worthy.
It's the right choice. It's
Guys,
the right time.
you put up with way too much. You really do. I mean, if I was that guy, it would be filed by the time I got home. You guys accept anything. You guys are like, oh, but for the kids. Okay, well, what is your kid? At least your daughter can see you growing a pair. Do you know what I mean? Like, the kids are going to be ruined anyway. If they're in a household, right, where they're watching the dad get henpecked by the mom all day, now your daughter or your son is going to say, this is how a relationship's supposed to be. Now look, she might steal those kids. I won't lie to you. She might. But, at least one day when your kid meets you, your son can see you banging a 20-year-old at 40. And he can say, my dad's awesome. Or your daughter can be like, you could show your daughter, look, act like your mom, get replaced by this hot, younger woman. Yeah, some of the greatest leaders of men are subservient to their wives. It's so crazy. I don't understand it. It really, and this woman was a yoga instructor with a fitness video, and she does this to her husband.